Hi everyone, welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies, build update number 3 of our rusty Roadrunner. It's a 71 Revell's Roadrunner kit that we're going to rust out pretty good here. So let's take a look down below and see what we got going. Everybody's still hanging out even though it's a Friday. Rob's over on the other side over here cooking up some burgers and dogs for everybody. We still have Mr. Stormtrooper keeping an eye on things. And Tim and Lee are still talking about his thing. Tim's still trying to figure out why Lee bought it. But anyhow, here's where we're standing right now. The other day you saw me where I had just the undercoat rust color on there. And I had 2 coats of quick shine. Let that dry. And then I took my Elmer's glue, and I just had one. A fuzzy piece of sponge that I tore off of my foam brush. And I took that and I dipped the Elmer's glue in it and wiped around, and I came around and I just dabbed it all over the place where I thought the rust would be just where, I wanted it to be rusty. So I did that, and then I let that glue dry, and then I gave it just as light of a coat of yellow, and I used, let me pull it over here, Tamiya's X3 flat yellow, or XF3, I'm sorry, flat yellow. Gave it 2 good coats of that, as light as I could get them on there to where it was yellow, but not thick. So I sprayed it on, let that dry for about an hour. And then I took my old toothbrush, and this is a softer toothbrush, and I'm glad I had a soft one and not a firm one, because if I had a firm one, I would have gone blown right through that quick shine. I even did a couple of times with the soft brush, so you have to kind of be careful with what you're doing there, or else you will blow through it. And then you can see here I blew through it a little bit, but I'm going to use my Weathermaster C on this still. I just started playing with it a little bit, but I'm still going to hit it pretty hard. And the furnace just kicked on, and with my new mic, I don't think you'll even be able to hear it. So we're winning this game. But again, I just barely started using that Weathermaster on here, around here, and a couple of the drag marks here and things like that. I did use some of my Tamiya's brown panel liner on here. Just like right here in the gutters. I pretty loaded it up so that it would run down through and drip down into off the top, and then kind of run over here where it's rusted, and down in here I let it run down, and just a few places real light so far underneath here, and you can see that got kind of heavy, and under the door latches and a few other places here and there and everywhere else. And then again with the Weathermaster C, I hit here and here. I ran some of that panel liner down where the shotgun blasts were. I was told, and I wish I would have done it before I painted this brown, because I was a little bit too far into it for that. But the next time when I do shotgun blasts, and thank you, I can't, while I'm running here, I can't remember who told me in the comments, but I love my comments because they help so much. But they said when you drill your holes for the shotgun blasts, and I got 8 holes because it's buckshot, he said take a bigger drill bit and countersink all of those, and that gives that a dented metal look, and that would have looked so awesome on there. But again, I was like 2 steps beyond that before I was told that, so I'll definitely use that again, just because that would be perfect. So if you're going to do shotgun blasts, or even like rifle shots, drill the hole and then countersink it with a bigger size, like with this. See, I drilled the hole with my green one here. What I should have done is taken the big one here and just kind of just went into where, not all the way through, but just in where it made that chamfer in there. And that would have gave that a really, really cool look. But again, 3 steps behind. So it is what it is. The engine compartment I'm pretty happy with now. I had that the same rust color, and then I went back with my acrylic. I've been using a lot of acrylics with this. The acrylic, the accent. This is, it's basically the same as the folk art. It's called Real Black, and it's pretty much just a flat black. And I still have like a half a bottle. This is about 15 years old now, because you only need a drop at a time. But I came in here, and I went here and there with that, with just my big flat brush, and just kind of dabbed it and swiped it and just went all over the place to give it the black and the rust look. And then I came back in with my panel, Weathermaster C, my panel. Tammy's Weathermaster C, and you can see I'm using a lot of the rust on this one. But it's doing a good job, and I'm happy with that engine compartment. And I'm looking at the, along with all this too, this is not as yellow as you're seeing it in the camera. It's faded, it's flat. I can see pretty much through to the brown where it's actually pulling too much yellow into the camera. And the same here, I'm seeing this as a lot blotchier than it looks in real life. But we still got to paint the bottles, and I'm going to do some other things in here just to make it look like it's has the engine ripped out of it. The radiator panel, I showed you that. That's going to sit up front. I still have to put a little bit of black on here and some more of the panel liner on that. I forgot to do it. So no big deal. I'll come back to it. But like I said, I'm going to do the water bottles. Yet I'll clean those off to get all the panel liner off of them, and then I'm going to paint them. I'll have a little bit of like a brown in here, and this one I'm just going to have like a faded white, so I'll just go flat white over that, and then we'll do caps on the top, and I'll run the lines off of them. Again, the battery's gonzo. I'm not going to use it, not need it. The inside, I painted black and then sprayed the yellow. So I'm going to have to come back and I'll paint that black again with that's just the accent. It only takes a minute. I knew I was going to get overspray on it, and I didn't even try to. That day I didn't even try to mask this off, because I figured if I mask that stuff, it's going to more than likely peel it off anyhow. So I'll just paint it back over. It'll only take me a couple minutes. The back end is all pretty much beat up. And what I'm going to do with this is going to be sitting in like with a fence on it, and I'm going to have a tree growing out of the center. I do have some brush and stuff to go with this, so this is going to be an actual, this is going to be half of the diorama that I'm building. So once this one's done, we'll start building the other one, and then we'll put that whole thing together, and we'll see how that looks together. I broke off one of my hood hinges. No big deal. I have it in my parts jar along with my fuzz, and I'll show you what that's for here in a second. But there's the body. Still got a long way to go, but I'm very, very happy with that Elmer's glue deal. The quick shine, not so much. I think the next time I'm going to do it, I'll probably use a Tester's flat or something like that over it that's a little bit more durable. Or even, it's across the room, but I have some of the Hydro Mist that's the, I think it's satin. And here's the Hydro Mist. I have some satin that I'll hit it with that, because then I can always flat it out. And even when this is done, and I got it all rusted the way I want, I'm going to take some white pastel and go over the top part of it and fade it even more so that it shows the two-tone. I did paint the sides are actually more yellow than the top by quite a bit, but you can't really see it in that camera. And what I did is I painted this with just the XF3, and then I mixed XF3 with, oh, wrong one, with the XF2 and sprayed over the top of this and made it a little bit lighter so that it's kind of faded. And then once I go over that with the pastels and my big soft brush, I'll brush that on, go in all the directions and down the sides a little bit. And I'm even going to streak some white down through here, so that it just looks like weather beat, because that's what it's going to be, is just sitting out there just weather beaten. And talking about weather beat, let's move this out of the way. I'm going to go straight to the chassis, the underside of the chassis. I'm pretty happy with now. I used the same color that I used on the top when I base coated it, and then I took the Weathermaster and I went all over the place with that, with the rust, the Weathermaster C, the rust, and then I used the brown and the black panel liner, and I came in here and I made it a little bit oily here and there and all around, and then I came back with the Weathermaster C, the rust, and went over top of it all again, and I'm thinking that that's looking pretty spot on now. I am going to paint the spindles flat aluminum, and then I'm going to rust them out because the front isn't going to have wheels. I'm going to have it on blocks, and the back I'm going to have on flat tires. So, nice segue into the flat tires. I flattened out the tire. I didn't have a hot plate or anything like that, so I used a lighter, went over it real easy. You know, I didn't go crazy over that because I didn't want it to catch fire or just melt. But I got it to where it was soft with the front and back, the rim and the back on it. I had those in there, got this hot, and then just literally just pushed it down flat on the desk. And it took me a couple of times to get it to where it was flat enough, but I think that's going to work out pretty good in the diorama, just sitting there. I still have to sand this off and things like that. I did 2 of them because, like I said, I'm going to only have the back rims on there, and I wanted them to be pretty flat. So now it gave it the bulge and that little underhook that flat tires have, and that's going to look a lot better than just me trying to dig out the base a little bit and just put a round tire in there. It gives it the part. If you have a flat plate or a hot plate, it works out a lot better where you're holding on to this and you push it down in a hot plate and it'll expand out a little bit more. It takes a little bit of time because you don't want to get it super duper hot because it'll melt fast. But it worked out pretty good. And then I've also seen with the ones that aren't hard, this is a solid rubber. The ones that are hollow rubber, I've seen people cut the sidewall and then take the center out and then glue a piece of evergreen in here, push it down onto the evergreen and let the glue dry, and that kind of gives it that swoop, and then they just cut the extra evergreen out of the way. And I was all excited to do that because I watched it a couple of times and then I found out I had hard tires. So it is what it is there. But we're rolling on this. We got a bunch done. I got the exhaust done where I like it. I remember I drilled those holes out and everything in there just because it's an old muffler. And then you came back in here with the panel liner C, or the Weathermaster C, and then panel liner, and then back with the Weathermaster, and then back with the panel liner, and darken that up pretty good. I cut off the one end, and then this one, the tip, I left on, but I did kind of dirty it up pretty darn good. But I am really happy with that. I also remember I cut my drive shaft off. I just chucked it in the box. I was going to throw it in the trunk or in the back seat. And I decided, no, I'm just going to leave it the way it is. You know, no sense in it. I painted the springs black just because I had to. I mean, I just wanted a little bit of contrasting colors on the bottom other than just rust. So we're doing good with this. I'm really happy with that. I'm happy with my dash so far. I got the gauges kind of painted up in there and detailed. I still have to do the warning light on the side here and then go around that with flat aluminum. But the crackle paint that I showed you last time, look at how nice that cracked that dash up. That came out really good. You know, I can't ask for any more than that. So I got a good crack on that dash. The sun's going to be beaten down because the front window's not going to be in there. So I'm thinking that's going to look the part. I still have to come back here. I'm going to streak the dash down this way where water's dripped in there and everything. I still got to get wires put in here for the radio being missing. But I think we got a good head start on it right now. The steering wheel I only have painted black so far. I still have to do the horn section. So that's all we are here. But I did paint it flat black because it's going to be sun beat and all that. And then instead of using chrome pen or anything on here, I'm going to use flat aluminum on that. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to pit it with the, it'll be the Weathermaster D. And I don't have that one pulled out, but there's one that's oil on there. And I'm going to see what that oil does on the flat aluminum and see if that'll give it a little bit of a pitted look. I'm thinking it will, but I'm not sure. The body panels right now are just in flat black. Haven't gotten to them yet because I've been doing everything else. And I've been running around a lot. I haven't been down here as much to give you guys the videos that I've been wanting to give. But we're moving now. The interior, I'm going to pull you down here a little bit, is looking a lot shinier than, than it really is. I just took some buff and went in here and drug that around a little bit just to give a little bit of dirt. I didn't do the center here because that's where the bench seat's going to go. I drilled down into the rubber far enough to where I didn't go all the way through it, but I went in to get rid of all the lines in there. And then I came back and I painted it with my Hall red and my NATO brown and my buff and just got it to where it looked a little bit rusty. And then I took some of my dryer lint and I put it right in the wet paint and kind of glued it in there to give it that carpet padding look, what I was going for. And I think that looks pretty good where your heel's going to be sitting, you know, wore a hole through it. This looks a lot better in person than it does here. The back seat is pretty beat. I got it crackled and it did exactly what I wanted it to do, where it looks like the rain was running down on here and streaking this and cracking that leather up top and then sitting on the seat and cracking that up pretty good. And that came out really great. I will hit that a little bit with some white panel or white pastels, really light, just to give some streaks in that leather a little bit more. But the crack came out where it looks pretty good with the cracked leather. I like how that worked out. I will use that again. And then I'm going to leave you with this. Well, how about before I even pull that out, I wanted to show you my front bezel. I drilled out 2 holes in here where these aren't going to have headlights. I'll put the headlights in here, so I left them chrome, but I drilled these 2 out, and then I took flat aluminum and painted the back part of that bezel flat aluminum, and it's still drying, or else I would have a little bit of metallic look to it. But I wanted that to look like the whole lens is gone. I'll stick a couple of wires coming out of here with the plugs on it so that it looks like somebody just took those lights out. One of these I'm just going to take my etching tool and I'll etch one of the lights so it looks like it's cracked, and the other one I'll leave alone. But I'm still going to use a matte finish on it. I'm not going to use a high gloss. And then we'll come back and again with pastels and age it a little bit more even. And now, for what we were talking about last time is my front seat. It is now all tore open. I still have to get these to pull back a little bit more. I painted the inside with the buff and the Hull red and the NATO brown, and came in through the backside too and did it to where I got all the springs painted. I got the cross members painted and all that. And then I took my dryer lint and I just kind of stuffed it down inside there to show that old padding that was in there. And then on this side, remember I put that paper towel on here. So this side I just took and I kind of sliced it so it's open. I can even peel that back a little bit like that. And I stuffed some of that dryer lint down in there. I still have to do a little more because it's still white, but we don't want to show that. But I wanted to crack that up pretty good and show it to where it was split. But this side I blew out all the way. Just, I was having fun with it. It was really supposed to be the driver's side, but when I was doing it upside down, I wasn't thinking it's got to be on this side and not that side. So that's what we got. It's in the passenger side. But it still looks great. I still have to figure out how to make either a little racoon or a squirrel to go in there, or a little mouse or something that's going to be living in this. I want this one to lay down flat. But I'm happy as heck with how that paper towel, when I split that open and I peeled it open, I literally tore it open with my tweezers, with my real pointy ones that I don't use very often. And I just grabbed it, you know, where I put a hole in it and just started ripping it. And then I cut some of it off so it wasn't just a huge piece, like it got torn away. And I like how the bottom of that paper towel with the glue on it really looks like the bottom of that vinyl would look, for the vinyl seat. So this is going to be just right in here with everything else. Once I get that glued into position and all, I think those are going to look really good. I still have to flatten this out a little bit. It's still pretty darn glossy. So I'll use some pastels and knock that shine down a little bit and get this to look, a lot more flat. And these lights up here, I'm telling you, are killing my camera. I got 3 sets of fluorescent lights above me, so it's making even my flattest flat look glossy. But there we go. We're moving right along. As a matter of fact, we're just getting into where all I have to do is the little detail stuff. Now I got to do my rims. I threw those in quick shine. They're going to dry overnight tonight. I'll come in tomorrow with panel liner. I'm going to use both brown and black panel liner in these because I want to weather them out pretty good. And then once they're on the car and glued, I'm going to streak them, going straight down from top to bottom, getting straight lines in it, streaks in there where the aluminum has just been getting beat up sitting out there. The back I just painted gunmetal. We'll rust that out. I just wanted something for the Weathermaster stuff to be able to stick to. So it was the first one I grabbed in the pin. So I got that. I still have to detail out my door panels. We're going to leave them flat. And then I'll figure out what I'm going to do with like the latches and things like that to make them where they're weathered. And I think what I'll do is instead of using the chrome silver like I always do, I'll just use flat aluminum. And I think that'll be good even on the trim. So I got to get online and find out which one of these trim lines are supposed to be chromed and what's not supposed to be chromed and just pleated. And we'll go from there. So I'm seriously thinking that the next update for this car is going to be the finished car. We're that close now. I still have to go out and find a little maple tree to dig up for the tree in here. what I'm going to do is I'll find a little one with a a small stem, maybe 1/4 inch in diameter, trunk coming up. I'll dig that out of the ground. I'll wash all the dirt off it. I'll cut off the top part, flip it around, and where the roots come out, that's going to be the top of the tree. And I've seen that done before with railroaded people, and they really make it look right. So that's what I'm going to do with just a dead tree coming out of here with the fence and all that. I think this is going to look pretty cool. But with that, I think I've bothered you enough tonight, so I'll let you go. Y'all have a great night and a better tomorrow, and I will see you soon. Thank you very much for watching.